or for your answer writing, that we had covered. How to prepare your notes, that we had covered. আৰু আজি তেনেধৰণে আমি এনেকুৱা এটা session fundamental rights কাৰণে cover কৰিম. Okay. So let me give you one disclaimer at the very start, that this is a very lengthy session. I would say this is a very lengthy topic, and from this part there is a very less chance that you will get a very direct question. Okay, you will never get a very direct question on this part, and it is advisable that you deal with this part very conceptually rather than very factually. মানে আপোনালোকৰ যদি APSC মেইনছ আমি প্যাটাৰ্ন চাওঁ, দেন তাতে আপোনালোকৰ কেতিয়া ফান্ডামেন্টাল ৰাইটছৰ বিষয়ে direct লিখিবলৈ কেতিয়াও নাহে, usually আহা নাই last 2 years of pattern, and even in the previous years যদিও আহিছে last 2 years of pattern চাই পেলাই আমি ক'ব পাৰো যে fundamental rights or questions বিলাক they are not direct. So from the very start I would request to all of you that please do not hold a prelims perspective from this topic. Okay, for prelims আমি বহুত shortcut চাইছিলো in our session that was conducted, that also you must have seen যদি আপোনালোকে attend কৰিছে, তেতিয়া আমি বহুত shortcut কিছুমান article মনত ৰাখিছিলো, কিছুমান keywords মনত ৰাখিছিলো, and that is how we had done this part, right? But for mains point of view, it is advisable that you have to do an extensive study on this part, both conceptually and factually, I would say. All right, so let me start with our session today. This. All right, fundamental rights. This, I think, every person who is present here right now, you must have definitely gone through this. Fundamental rights are part 3 thake, okay, and they cover the articles from 20 to 35. Here we also know that the fundamental rights are covered from. They are actually inspired from the Constitution of USA, we can say, okay, and they are rightly described as the Magna Carta. I'm sharing the Lakshmikant notes itself, right? This is everything that is direct from the Lakshmikant. I think anyone and everyone has particularly never missed this particular portion due to starting on the right. My idea of sharing this with you is that these are the introductory statements that I believe 90% of the candidates will be adding in their answers. J fundamental rights or keyword dekhilole, they are going to write fundamental rights part 3 ase Magna Carta inspired from USA, how to 8 line midibo pare. In the first and third lines, I believe every single candidate, like I said, I can claim that approximately 90% of the candidates are going to add up this part and this part of the like content from Lakshmikant directly. What my advice to you guys is that try to be a bit innovative in questions when it comes to fundamental rights. Now, how can you be innovative, right? Innovative hoar dhandar ki hoy bahute 10 khon notes for start diye, 10 number of books you will start reading, and that becomes deviating. Okay, the biggest mistake here is that you try to create content by reading multiple content. Listen to this very carefully. What candidates mostly do is they try to read 5-6 pages. They'll try to read at least 5-6 books. They'll try to read 5-6 sources. For example, kunubai আজি not only as হাইৰলে দৃষ্টি as হাইৰলে directly Google কৰি দিব 5-6টা যোনকেইটা content আছে, from there you'll try to make notes, right? But in case of very lengthy questions like these, when very lengthy syllabus like these, you're not supposed to, I would say for knowledge purpose it is good, but if you want to frame a good introduction, if you want to make a good content, you should read the Lakshmikant itself or a single content that you have, single targeted content. Suppose kunba jodi NCERT pohise, well and good, from NCERT also you can pick up very good lines. So how would I proceed in this case? For example, ma apnalokok ekhini concept disu. This you will find, these are the starting statements that you will see in Lakshmikant itself. Okay, these are the starting statements that you will see in Lakshmikant itself. Let me tell you one thing. These are a few points যোনখিনি আপোনালোকৰ সাগে most probably general statements নিচিনা লাগিব. For example, fundamental rights are guaranteed by the Constitution, obviously, to all persons without any discrimination. A very generalized statement, right? They uphold equality. They are meant for promoting political democracy. Falana dhikana, all of these portions are there. That is directly, you will feel that these are generalized statements. You'll skip that part and you will go for the let's say next section. But Yarpa, I'm giving you an idea that you can pick up your lines for introduction from this particular content itself. How will you do it? First thing we say, for like I said in the very start, factual what ko you have to memorize the conceptual content of fundamental rights or DPSP or preamble. Ekhini apnaloke factual joatko you have to understand the conceptual content, right? And in order to do that, keywords will understand korato amar basic motto hoy. For example, jodi ami fundamental rights ko aso, then why are they fundamental? Why are they fundamental? And these are a few statements. Whenever there comes a question to justify your answer, যে fundamental rights বিলাক DPSP লগত কেনেকে challenge হয়, DPSP parallelly কেনেকে যায়. So these are the few concepts that is going to help you rather than these are not going to help you in framing your answers well. This will only give you two facts. যোনটো আপোনালোকে I think 10 number of answers, like I said, out of 10 9 candidates will write this, but these are some of the features that you will always ignore, and you will feel a general line and you will not make a note out of it. But you have to target these statements as a whole to understand the fundamental who are a fundamental term to concept to ki hoy. And in introduction, how will you pick up the lines? For example, a very beautiful line is given here. They aim at establishing a government of laws and not of men. You can directly pick up this line and place it in your content, in your introduction, basically. Okay. For example, you wrote Part 3 of the Constitution, which includes the fundamental rights, is the Magna Carta of the Indian Constitution. Because why? Because they aim at establishing a government of laws and not of men. But because Nilikhilo, you can directly say fundamental rights aim at establishing a government of laws and not of men. Just 4 5 words and your introduction looks apt, and your introduction will directly be highlighted যে okay, this person knows something from the concept point of view. এইখিনি আপনার হইছে facts, এইখিনি হইছে facts. What you have to add in your answer is beautification, and beautification can be done with concepts, not with facts. In case of economics, that will be with statistics. Okay. In case of history, that will be with quotes, that will be with a few philosophies. Okay. In case of sociology, it will be with current affairs, it will be with dynamics. In case of ethics, it will be with the quotes again. So teneke dhৰণৰ every particular paper, every particular general studies paper, you can add up these extra points, extra miles. Junchini, it should look better than the other answers. And how will it look? If you go an extra mile by adding a few basic fundamentals or basic statements, junchini apnar content majote ase, all you have to do is smartly fit them. Okay. You will just think why they are fundamental, ekhini pohat apnaloke just from question point of view apnaloke sabo. But from here itself, like I said, you can pick up a few of the fundamental rights of an introduction. For example, this line. Okay, they are fundamental law of the land. Just 4 words. You can just add up in the introduction itself that they are enshrining Part 3. They are the fundamental law of the land. Okay, just to beautify. They prevent establishment of an ebla apni frame kore pare. Okay, you can just pick up this line. They protect the liberties and freedoms of the people against the invasion of the state. Every statement here, irrespective apnaloke ki likhise, you can add it in the introduction. Okay, you can add it in the introduction. So make sure that you have a note of this. It is present in Lakshmikant itself. Our introduction karne apnaloke content or pray content logo. You don't need to read tens of notes. Let me tell you, those notes are also being made from Lakshmikant itself. Okay, so limit your content. This is my first advice for polity. Baki jate apnaloke history, economics karne we study diversified content. We will definitely cover that when we will do that part. But for polity, jehetu content to basic hoy, we'll have a a huge amount of data, or he gotekhini amar revise korobole bahut time lagibo jodi apnalok notes ready holo jay. All right, so I think you're getting the basic idea here. Number 1, you should not read fundamental rights from the perspective of facts. Article 14 iman hetu mukhosto mari labh nai. You have to understand Article 14 exactly koi ki, fundamental word to meaning ki hoise. So ekhini moi as it is apnalok for every single statement definitely moi bujabol na jao. You can give it a general read. I think all of you must have definitely covered this from previous point of view also. Both simple statements hoy, so just concept or gist to bujibo. Okay, they're guaranteed by the constitution, they uphold the equality, they are meant for promoting all the ideals. Okay, they save the state from authoritic and despotic rule. Liberties and freedoms are ensured. They operate limitations on the tyranny. It's like single statement game. Mock one is as it is tomorrow, but he just to logo. Okay, there are like 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 points. Is 7 points over more than enough. Okay, they are the fundamental law of the land. They are fundamental also in the sense that they most essentially help in the all-round development of the individuals. Okay, this also you can add up in the in the introduction. So any concept that you have from the very start, fundamentals of the term to apnaloke please mone rakhibo. Okay, that you need to understand. It's very essential for your answers content enrichment. That is what is content enrichment. Content enrichment মানে এটো নহয় যে আপোনালোকে এক্সট্ৰাকে বস্তু মুখস্থ মাৰিব লাগে. Content enrichment means how you can incorporate your ideas into the answer. Okay, all right, and those ideas will be borrowed from the books itself. We cannot write anything on our own. এতিয়া fundamental rights বিষয়ে আমি নিজে লিখি পেলাই কিবা এটা add up কৰিব নোৱাৰো. We have to add up what the scholars have already written. All right, let's quickly move on to the next concept. Features of the fundamental rights, very very important. এইটো মই সেইকাৰণে add কৰিছো because যদি static question আহে তেতিয়াহ'লে আপোনালোকৰ এইটোৱে first question হ'ব পাৰে. Okay, they'll not ask you যদি আহেও I would say fundamental rights of fundamental কিয় কোৱা যায় সেই বস্তুটো mostly application based যায়. I will show you how to add up. এটাটো আপোনালোকক কৈ দিলো যে introduction কাৰণে আপোনালোকে এনেকুৱা content গোটাব. কিন্তু if you are expecting a 10-15 marks of question, 15 marks karone nohoy, 10 marks karone, this is the first point that you should take care of. Okay, there are around 12 features of the fundamental rights. At least you should know all of them by heart holo, at least keywords kini holo apnaloke monot rakhibo pare. Okay, now these are a few topics which statements junkhini amar bahut dikol ke ase tare keywords hisabot every mane all these features I have tried to concise them. ঠিক আছে, for example, some of them are available only to citizens while others are available to persons, foreigners, legals, persons like corporations or companies. Now for this you can make a shortened statement. Shortening of the statement আমি preamble time to discuss কৰিছিলো. You need to shorten your statements in your notes, otherwise আপোনালোকৰ মনত নাথাকিব and পিছতকে আপোনালোকে যেতিয়া মেইনছত লিখিব you will be confused with the statements. Okay, keywords ৰাখিব, keywords associate কৰি full statement বনাই দিব. That is the way you should proceed with notes right now. Okay, so this statement can be very simply cut short as they are available both to some are available to foreigners as well as some are available to Indians. Etu apnaloke dibo pare. Yat content enrichment dot any general candidate jodi apnaloke in general statement likhe tetia directly likhi dibo this is the feature. Okay, but you have to go an extra mile regarding which article. So this is already given in the I would say amar already Lakshmikantan aseo, but yat apnaloke bahut beshi statement monot rakhibo nalage. What you have to do is just remember which of the particular articles, suppose 15, 16, 19, 29, 30 yar pora jodi tinta likhi dia more than enough, which are available to both citizens. Yar pora jodi tinta mano apnaloke mention kori dia more than enough. Okay, for example, but you just have to mention that particular word. See, you have to play with words also. Jodi apnaloke directly likhe articles directly aru jodi bracket tinta likhi die tetia enekwa hobo that the information is adhurwa. Hekarne tate apnaloke mention kori dio for example. When you say for example, you're just giving a reference among the few. Okay, many few people know this, that this is a psychological technique when like for example if you have 10 points then and you, for some answer you have just 2 or 3 points, then jeta ami 2 or 3 points thake tetia tate ami numbering to koribo hole avoid koribo lage. Jeta apnar 10-12 points bulk thake tetia you give 1 2 3 4 so that it shows your bulk. It's just psychological. Okay, but when you have less points, let's say 5 points, then you try to make it in paragraphs, not in single statements. Tetia he content to hor jan lage. Now this is just sobote কাম নকৰে যেটা আপোনালোকে নাজানে, যেটা আপোনালোকে আনসারটো বিষয়ে কমকে জানে. In case you know definitely this is not going to work, তেতিয়া আপোনালোকে content write লিখক. Okay, so you have to at least place that some are available to the citizens, some are not available to the foreigners, like that এই কন্টেন্টটোকে আপোনালোকে with articles সদায় substantiate কৰিব লাগে. Okay, always remember to substantiate. এই wordটো মনত ৰাখিব, substantiate. Always try to incorporate facts to support. Okay, বহুতে কি কৰে facts to লিখি দিয়ে ভাবে হেটোই আনসার হয়, but that is not correct. Facts are only in polity. Okay, in not in general also in polity facts মানে কি হয় যোনটো আপনি কনসেপ্ট নভৰাই but কিছুমান extra information দিয়ে. Hey, extra information should always be used to substantiate your answer. Substantiate মানে to make it look good, to make it like proof যে এটা আপোনাৰ হয় যে this particular thing actually exists and হেতু বস্তু আপোনালোকে প্ৰেজেন্ট কৰিব পাৰিছে. Okay, so that way you have to always substantiate with facts. Okay, next bostu is they are not absolute or qualified. Ekhini part I would say iman khini apnalok ketia monon nathake. The main and keywords or keyword is this: they are not absolute but qualified. I think we had already discussed this in prelims, but just so that as a revision koi disu, absolute but qualified mane hoise that not absolute means that without exception amar mostly rights like nai. Fundamental rights are kisuman definitely amar exceptions ase. That is called not being absolute. Okay, aru he exceptions kini ami later on pori for every article except for article number 17, which is an absolute right. It has no exception. That is a major meaning. তাতে আপোনালোকে এক্সামত যেতিয়া লিখিবলৈ যাব, you can add this if you have time, but যদি 10 marks question এটা লিখে, এইটো 15 marks কাৰণে আহাৰ chances বহুত কম, আৰু 10 marks কাৰণে যেতিয়া আপুনি লিখিব তেতিয়া most probably আপোনালোকে ইমানখিনি এক্সপ্লেইন কৰিবলৈ সময় নাপাব. Okay, in case you get to know this, আপোনালোকে লিখি দিব except article 17. Now this is the fact that you can substantiate. All articles or fundamental rights, mostly they are not absolute except for article 17, which is an absolute right. Okay, you just have to deliver the information. All right, but at that point that is they don't have any exception. That is, all of them have exceptions. Either way, jodi taneke hoy, you can always add up. So now I hope you're getting the idea. Je fundamental rights eta apna likhe statements you will get in the book. Okay, main idea is to incorporate the information which is written in the incorporate the factual information with the statement. tar mane generalized statement, generalized information apnaloke paise, kintu tak enhance keneka koribo with the addition of basic articles. Okay, I hope you're getting the idea here. All right, let us move on to the next. They should strike a balance. Eblak apnaloke general statements hoy, kisuman statements apnaloke conclusion karone ya pra uthabo pare. Okay, kisuman statements jeneke ami introduction karone statements uthaisu, ekhini pra apnaloke conclusion pra uthabo lage. Now this is all presence of mind while you're reading it. For example, a statement to say they strike a balance between the rights of individual and those. This is a very beautiful statement that you can place in the conclusions. If you have something on fundamental rights, you can place this statement. Okay, that it is a balance between the rights of an individual and those of the society as a whole, between individual liberty and social control. Very beautiful statements. This you can add in the introduction also, given the fact jeneke amar demand of the question mote again. Okay, please don't do anything beyond the demand of the question, just because meme kodile aur joto zabardasti khorabo na lage. On the demand, on the basis of demand. Okay, if the statement or if the question is directly starting with your fundamental rights, then you're advised that at least you should analyze the question of tar mote apnaloke ekita bostu khorabo lage. Okay, pick up questions from Lakshmikant gives you the best content on introduction and conclusion. Please mark it. Apnaloke jote nasao ke jodi Lakshmikant kon line by line beautifully pohe, সেই ধুনীয়াকে তাতে আপোনালোকৰ ইন্ট্ৰোডাকশ্যনৰ কাৰণে লাইনছ আৰু কনক্লুজনৰ কাৰণে লাইনছ, যোনটো আমি প্ৰিয়াম্বলত ডিছকাছ কৰিছিলোঁ, যে প্ৰত্যেকটো টপিকৰ আপোনালোকে এটলিষ্ট ইন্ট্ৰো আৰু কনক্লুজনটোৰ পচিবল লাইনছ কেইটামান কালেক্ট কৰি থ'ব, চ' দেট এক্সামত সেই ব্ৰেইন ষ্ট্ৰমিংটো যাতে কৰিব নালাগে। পেনটো যদি ষ্টাৰ্টিঙত ৰখি যায় দেন পিছতো ৰখি যাব। Okay, পেনটো যদি ষ্টাৰ্টিঙত চলি যায় মাজত কেতিয়াও নৰখে। ইউ মাইট ৱেইট ফ্লিকাৰ ফৰ আ ছেকেণ্ড যে অ'কে এইটো পইণ্ট কি আছিলে, কিন্তু কেতিয়াও আপোনালোকৰ ফ্ল'টো ভাঙি নাযায় তেতিয়া। ইটছ চাইকলজিকেল। অ'কে, ইটছ ভেৰি মাছ অবভিয়াছলি তাতে আমাৰ আনচাৰ ৰাইটিঙৰ প্ৰেক্টিছো ডিপেণ্ড কৰিব। এনেকুৱা নহয় যে কোনোবাই জাষ্ট ষ্টেটমেণ্টটো বনাই থ'লে আনচাৰ ৰাইটিং প্ৰেক্টিছ নকৰাকৈ যদি 3 মাহৰ পিছত লিখিব যায় তেখেতৰ মনত নাথাকিব। Okay, but সেইখিনি মনত ৰাখি পেলাই যদি back and again you're writing questions on fundamental rights, writing questions on preamble, then definitely আপোনালোকৰ সেই পেনটোত মনত থাকি যাব। Okay, all right, next question is all of them are available against a very long statement যোনটো মই ষ্টেট shorten কৰি দিছোঁ, available against arbitrary action of state. Okay, এতিয়া এইবিলাকৰ পৰা আপোনালোকে ইন্ট্ৰোডাকশ্যন বা তেনেকুৱা ধৰণৰ বস্তু উঠাব নোৱাৰে। So that balance you have to see. Okay, some of them are negative, some of them are positive, এইখিনি আপোনালোকে দিব পাৰে। নেগেটিভৰ যদি সময় থাকে, again যদি সময় থাকে then you can place this যে আমাৰ লিমিটেশনছটো কিয় থাকা কাৰণে হে নেগেটিভ হয়, আৰু পজিটিভ বিকজ প্ৰিভিলেজ দিয়া যায়। ওকে, বা ইয়াতে আপোনালোকে এইখিনিতে সাপোজ আপোনাৰ সময় হোৱা নাই তেতিয়া ইউ কেন জাষ্ট এড আ ফ্লো চাৰ্ট। ওকে, ইউ জাষ্ট এড আপ ফৰ এক্সাম্পল নেগেটিভ এণ্ড কৈ পেলাই বিকজ। ওকে, বিকজ it will, okay, I should add up wait, let me add up a white screen here তেতিয়া আপোনালোকৰ ভালকে, yeah, for example, okay, just লিখিলে negative, okay, and because, why, because a statement লিখিলে হল আৰু place limitations on the authority of state. Okay, place limitations, okay, on authority of state. It's just an example, যদি মানে পুরা স্টেটমেন্ট লিখিব যদি হেৰি নাই মানে টাইম নাই, আকৌ পজিটিভ because again like gives privileges, that's it, privileges কাক দিয়ে on the citizens, that's it. মানে কিছুমান বস্তু আপোনালোকে on the spot যদি টাইম নাথাকে, like I said, otherwise এইবিলাক স্টেটমেন্টত usually আপোনালোকে you should not incorporate flow charts, you should usually tend to normal text only. Flow charts বিলাক জবৰদস্তি হোৱা নিচিনা হ'ব, but here টাইমৰ যদি লিমিট নাথাকে কেতিয়াবা it looks nice also. All right, for example The next point is they are justiciable. Again, you can just keep it as a simple statement, justiciable. See, all of this is in Lakshmikant. This is from Lakshmikant. I'm just trying to tell you how to summarize your notes on fundamental rights and which portions to summarize. Okay. Then they are defended and guaranteed by the Supreme Court. That's it. Ekini portion, it's an excellent explanation. They can directly go to the Supreme Court, not necessarily by way of appeal against the judgment of the High Courts. Now, ইয়াতে মই আপোনালোকে এটা কথা কৈ দিওঁ that when you read polity these statements I'm sure that ইয়াতে হয়তো কিছুমান নতুন candidates হ'ব পাৰে যোনে এবাৰ first time attempt কৰিছে and you might not get the idea, you might not get the entire idea of the statement because language to অলপ tough হয় Lakshmikant. Okay, so whenever something like that happens, what you should do is you should remember one thing, যে পলিটিত ষ্টেটমেণ্টত অ'কে ষ্টেটমেণ্ট যেতিয়া আমাৰ লক্ষ্মীকান্তত লিখা থাকে ইউজুৱেলি তাত ডেফিনিশ্যনটো দিয়া নাথাকে এনেকুৱা আমাৰ লাগে বহুতে বিকজ এনেকুৱা লাগে বহুত টেকনিকেল টাৰ্মছ ইউজ কৰিছে ফৰ এক্সাম্পল ইয়াত ডিৰেক্টলি লিখি দিলে এবছলিউট বাট কোৱালিফাইড বাট এইখিনিত আমাৰ ডেফিনিশ্যনটো দিছে নে নাই দিয়া গম পোৱা নাযায় চ' ফৰ দেট ইউ শ্বুড ৰিমেম্বাৰ ওৱান থিং ৱেন এভাৰ দি লক্ষ্মীকান্ত বুক ইন পাৰ se যেতিয়া আমাৰ লক্ষ্মীকান্তত কিবা এটা টাৰ্ম লিখা থাকে তাৰ দীঘল যোনটো আণ্ডাৰলাইন বা ফ'ল' আপ ষ্টেটমেণ্ট হয় সেইটোৱে মষ্টলি সেই টাৰ্মটোৰ ডেফিনেশ্যন দি দিয়ে মানে ইয়াত কি হয় কি আপোনাৰ বস্তুবিলাক হাইলাইটেড নাথাকে এণ্ড উই ডোণ্ট ন' whether that is a I would say ডেফিনেশ্যন হয় নে বেলেগ এটা পইণ্ট আমি ধৰিব নোৱাৰোঁ লক্ষ্মীকান্তত অ'কে চ' যেতিয়া এনেকুৱা ধৰণৰ এতিয়া ছাপ'জ এইটো দি দিলে দে আৰ ডিফেণ্ডেড এণ্ড গ্যাৰাণ্টিড বাই দ্য সুপ্ৰিম কোৰ্ট এই পৰ্চনটো বেচিকেলি এই লাইনটোৰে ডেফিনেশ্যন হয় okay they are defended and guaranteed by the Supreme Court just try to adjust with Lakshmikant if you are trying to give it a read etia first for the first time tete ekhini points apnaloke sabo aru jodi apnaloke in general porise মানে আগতে যদি পঢ়িছে কমপ্লিট কৰিছে দেন ওয়েল এণ্ড গুড দেন ইউ কেন ডিৰেক্টলি স্কিপ টু কণ্টেণ্ট এনৰিচমেণ্ট তাৰ পৰা পিকআপ লাইনছ উঠাবলৈ ষ্টাৰ্ট কৰিব পাৰে ফ্ৰম দি বুক ইট চেল্ফ অ'কে Alright, so they are defended and guaranteed by the Supreme Court. So, your meaning it was such a aggrieved person, mane jar fundamental rights violate hoise, they can directly go to the Supreme Court. Okay, not necessarily by way of appeal. Tar mane ki hoy for the citizens jar fundamental rights mane ki koy to violate hoy jay, tetia normally কি হয় আমি ডিস্ট্রিক্ট কোর্টত এপিল কৰিলোঁ এপিল মানে আমি সাপোজ কমপ্লেইন ইটস লাইক এন কমপ্লেইন ৰাইট কমপ্লেইন কৰিলোঁ দেন আমি সেই কেছটো আমাৰ হাই কোৰ্টলৈ গ'ল দেন হাই কোৰ্টৰ পৰা সুপ্ৰিম কোৰ্টলৈকে যায় বাট ইন কেছ অফ ফাণ্ডামেণ্টেল ৰাইটছ অফ ভাইলেশ্যন দিছ ডাজ নট হেপেন এই গোটেই পাৰ্টিকুলাৰ যিটো ডিষ্ট্ৰিক্ট কোৰ্ট হাই কোৰ্ট যোনখিনি আমাৰ ষ্টেপছ আছিলে অল অফ দিছ কেন বি ছাৰ্পাছড আৰু ডিৰেক্টলি ইউ কেন এপ্ৰ'চ দি সুপ্ৰিম কোৰ্ট তাৰমানে ডিৰেক্টলি ইউ কেন এপিল টু দি সুপ্ৰিম কোৰ্ট okay not necessarily by the way of appeal against the judgment of the high courts okay high courts to surpass but directly you can go to the Supreme Court so here to a simple meaning to if you understand the concept here you can straight away write the statement or hey statement apnaloke nijor language to change kori lobo pare okay I hope this is clear so features of fundamental rights ami sota cover korilu তাৰে ভিতৰটো এটা আমি কনক্লুসিভ স্টেটমেন্ট দিব পৰা কিয় এটা স্টেটমেন্ট বিচাৰি পালো অলৰাইট দেন we have this we have they are not sacrosanct or permanent okay they can be amended by a constitutional amendment but given the fact that tate basic structure to jate effect na hoy eblak ami pohim in detail but as it is apnaloke place koribo pare okay they can be suspended during the national emergency their scope is limited but now this is a bit technical 31A 31B 31C again articles apnaloke mention koribo lagibo de jodi apnaloke polity answer attempt korise then you definitely have to go for articles okay you have to go for articles in generalized যদি statement লিখিছে okay all right so 31A 31B 31C আমাৰ তিনটা particular articles আছিলে and their scope মানে the scope of these fundamental rights is limited by this particular articles এইখিনি আমি article number 14 কোৰ্টে আৰু ভালকে কৰিম তাতে exceptions আছে okay I will explain you then for now just understand that this is a feature we'll deal with this okay next আপোনাৰ হৈছে application article number 33 আছে okay next article number 35 আছে আৰু martial law আছে so এই তিনটা আপোনালোকে হয়তো এটা ফিচাৰও বনাই দিব পাৰে যদি সময় নাথাকে বা ধৰিলওক তিনটা ফিচাৰ যদি বেলেগ বেলেগকে লিখিব বিচাৰে তেনেকেও লিখিব পাৰে okay so I have at least mentioned how many ekhini as it is from Lakshmikante hoy and ekhini apnaloke memorize kori pelai ba ধৰিলওক keywords kita sai pelai at least these 12 features you should remember the features should be remembered because jodi direct question ahe tete yare direct question ahibo pare okay for 10 marks usually ahibo for 15 marks there's a less chance aru jodi 15 marks ahi jay then you have to extend it a bit tete apnaloke explanatory statements la maje humabo lagibo okay All right. Next is this. A will be Article 12 key hoy because if you remember Article 12 or Article 35 or like it's fundamental rights. So A key information again it's from Lakshmikant itself. A key information you can skip. You can skip because এনেকুৱা ধৰণৰ কম্পোনেণ্ট জাষ্ট আপুনি কনচেপ্ট ৰাখিব যে ষ্টেট আমি কাক বোলো বাট সেই বস্তুটো আপোনাৰ কেতিয়াও আই ডোণ্ট থিংক চ' দেট ইউ উইল বি ইউজিং ইট ইন মেইনছ আনচাৰ্ছ দিছ ৱাজ অনলি ফ্ৰম প্ৰিলিমছ পইণ্ট অফ ভিউ আৰু এই স্নেপশ্বটখিনি মই আমাৰ প্ৰিলিমছৰ নোটছৰ পৰাই লৈছোঁ যোনখিনি আমি প্ৰেজেণ্ট কৰিছিলোঁ ইন আৱাৰ ক্লাছেছ. So content like this you can ignore. 12 Article 12 Article 13 আপোনালোকে যদি extensive study কৰেও they'll be of no use. But 13 at least we have this judicial review যোনটো আমি Supreme Court কেছত পঢ়িমগে. But Article 13 as a fundamental right তেনেকে বৰ বিশেষ এটা বস্তু নাই. Okay, বহুত কমকে আপোনাৰ কন্টেন্ট আছে that you can just refer অলপ ধৰি লওক 13 নম্বৰ আৰ্টিকেলটো কি কয় সেইটোতো ডেফিনেটলি চবৰ মনত থাকে that all laws which are inconsistent with the fundamental rights they will be held void. Okay, this was the doctrine of judicial review আৰু এই বস্তুটো আমি পিছতকে we are going to also cover it in Supreme Court. Okay, তাতে আমি বহুত এক্সটেন্সিভলি কভাৰ কৰিম ইন ফ্যাক্ট. So from fundamental rights of point of view পৰা আপোনালোকে এই দুটা যদি টাইম ৱেষ্ট কৰে then I think that will be not much required. Okay. By that we have এইখিনি আমি কৰিছিলোঁ again from parents point of view to বস্তু লাগে but enrichment কাৰণে you can just remember for features সেই পাৰ্টটোৰ কাৰণে you should remember this one. Okay, next this is a summary এইখিনি again all these 6 articles that we have fundamental rights আৰু তাৰে against যোনখিনি আমাৰ particular articles আছে 1 2 3 4 কে বেলেগ বেলেগকে প্লেস কৰি থোৱা আছে এইখিনি অলৰেডি প্ৰিলিমছৰ কাৰণে আপোনালোকে কভাৰ কৰিছে so you know. Now let us move on quickly to the fact যে আমি এতিয়া per article প্ৰিলিমছৰ কাৰণে it was very easy for us to understand. What we did was just article 14 to কি হয় 15 to কি হয় তেনেকে ধৰণে আমি কিছুমান বস্তু এডজাস্ট মাৰি দিলো হৈ গ'ল. ওকে, কিছুমান আৰ্টিকেল আমি অলপ অলপ মুখস্থ কৰিলো কিছুমান আৰ্টিকেল আমি বাদ দি দিলো স্মাৰ্ট ষ্টাডি কৰি দিয়া that was done. From mains point of view you cannot do that. From mains point of view let me tell you article based questions বিলাক যদিও আপোনালোকৰ ডিৰেক্ট নাহে but there is immense importance. It is of immense importance. Why? Because you will be using it through your all your papers GS2 GS1 GS3 GS4 গোটেই কেইখনতে আপোনালোকৰ fundamental rights ৰ বিষয় content enrichment you can apply. Okay, so every article every right I would say as a whole right to equality হৈ গ'ল then আমাৰ right to religion হৈ গ'ল freedom হৈ গ'ল cultural education rights হৈ গ'ল minorities হৈ গ'ল whatever articles are there whatever rights are there the 6 rights that we have you have to read it from 3 different perspectives. At the protocol follow koi lobo. Okay, you make your notes in such a format that you have a protocol je apnaloke rights or kiman extent leke পঢ়িব যদি যায় তেতিয়া you can study the entire universe about the rights. You can study the history কৰ পৰা আহিছিলে magna carta from the French revolution whatever falana thingkan apnaloke sob cover কৰিব পাৰে. But from mains point of view if you want to remain restricted then you have to at least cover these 3 subtopics. প্ৰথম কথাটো হৈছে এভৰি ৰাইট আপোনালোকে ডিসক্ৰিপশন মিনিমাম ডিসক্ৰিপশনটো যে আৰ্টিকেলটো কি কয় এক্স্যাক্টলি যদি আপোনালোকৰ আৰ্টিকেলটো মনত থাকে ভেৰি ওয়েল এণ্ড গুড সেইটোতো বঢ়িয়া কথাই হ'ব আপোনালোকে যদি লিখি দিব পাৰে তেনেকে এক্সামত ভেৰি ওয়েল এণ্ড গুড but at least minimum description to আপোনালোকে জানি থব লাগিব for all the articles. Today we will try to cover articles from right to equality. In the next sessions if time permits then we will discuss all the articles but যেহেতু pattern to আমি আজি এটা describe কৰি দিম তো আপোনালোকে হেতু বস্তু next কিছুমান মানে next rights কাৰণেও follow কৰিব পাৰে. Okay, but in case যদি time permits then we will try otherwise we shift to a new topic. Okay, anyway so description you should know every article or ekdam minimum description la you should know the exceptions to the articles. Hey particular article ki exceptions ase because every particular article jiman kin exceptions ase hekhini basis of eta na eta question bonibole chance thake sorry. Okay, there is a high probability je tar prahe apnalokor conceptual questions bilak bonibo. All right, and the third is application and this is the part which most of the students are lacking. Okay, এইখিনি আপোনালোকে as it is কিতাপত পাই যাব and this is something that you have to add up from your own insights presence of mind লগালগ আপোনালোকৰ মাথাত খেলাই নে নেখেলাই in the exam in 7 minutes খেলাই না খেলাই and in answer writing আপোনালোকে attempt কৰিব পাৰিছে নাই so this application part is something that you have to understand. Okay, এটোতে সবতকে বেছি robust I would say hard work লাগে because এটো বুকছত নাথাকে and how will you connect to it that always এটো mind এটা brainstorming হৈ থাকিব লাগিব তেতিয়াহে বস্তু হয়গে. I'll show you how. So under the right to equality we have these particular rights. This is article number 14, 15, 16, 17, 18 মই পঢ়ি থকা নাই এইখিনি obviously prelims ইয়াত আপোনালোকে ক্ৰছ কৰি আহিছে so you definitely know by description এতিয়া আপোনালোকে description কেনেকৈ পঢ়িব for each and every article. Okay, this is again content from Lakshmikant itself. So article number 14, like I said, যোনটো major description হয় সেইটো আপোনালোকৰ মনত থাকিব লাগিব. It says equality before law and equal protection of laws. This you cannot mess up. Equality before law to first one লিখা যায়, equality equal protection of laws is in the second. এই article to আপোনালোকে পৰাপক্ষত as it is মনত ৰাখিব, very very important from mains point of view. Okay, next is what does this article say or what does this article speak about? It says that the state will not deny কাকো ডিনাই নকৰে কাকো নিদিয়াকো নাথাকে কি দিয়াকে নাথাকে এনি পাৰ্সন এনি পাৰ্সন কি দিয়াকে নাথাকে ইকুৱালিটি বিফোৰ ল okay or equal protection of laws এই দুটা বস্তু the state will never deny. See, it is very simple. So এনেকুৱা ধৰণে আপোনালোকে একদম simple statement ভাঙি ভাঙি হলেও এই article to as it is মনত ৰাখিব. When you use the technical statement it's good. APSC refers it হয়তো চাগে UPSC just a representation of the idea is good enough, but APSC যদি আপোনালোকে language to অলপ technical কৰি present কৰে I think you will get better marks. Okay, with my previous experiences I have understood this that some things, not everything, not the entire answer, but a few things. Okay, and তাৰে মাজত এইটো এটা example হয়. So if you write the article, if you present it in this way, anyway, I would also tell you one thing that কেতিয়াও এনেকুৱা নিলিখে explain article 14. But with the demand of the question, how to place it, সেই বস্তুটোহে কৈছো দেই তাতে মেনশ্যন কৰিবলৈ হয়তো এইটো ইন্ট্ৰডাকশ্যন নাযাব পাৰে এইটো বডি কণ্টেণ্টো হ'ব পাৰে so that will go into further পিছতকে আমি later on we will see that but description আপোনালোকে চাব. Now this person provision confers rights to all persons and this or citizens এইটো আপোনালোকৰ এটা generalized statement হয় which you can use for any of the articles, right? If you know এই যোনটো আমি কম্পোনেন্ট পঢ়িছিলো যদি suppose article number 16 কথা কইলে তেতিয়া আপনি কলে হল যে it is available to only citizens and not to foreigners. These are called some potato statements. All right, for this is specifically for fundamental rights but মই just example to কৈছো. For example যদি article number 25 কথা উঠে directly কলে হল that it is available both to citizens and foreigners. Okay, আৰু article suppose মনত নাথাকিলো if you just know right to equality ভিতৰত okay there are 14 15 16 17 18 19 লাগে oh sorry 18 লাগে right so 18 er ভিতৰত 14 it is available to both citizens and foreigners 15 is available only to citizens 16 17 into definitely employment has only Indians oke dia jabo teneke dhone apnaloke jodi banai loy then it's well and good jodi no banayo not a problem in general if you can remember it's good enough. Okay, so where was I? Yeah, so this is one statement that is an aloo statement, potato statement. You can add it anywhere. And if pahuri jai, not a very big deal. It will not cost you much. It will not cost you many marks. Okay, this is the part that will have a good image on your answer. ঠিক আছে তাৰ পিছত আপোনালোকে চাব যে equality before law দুটা কম্পোনেন্ট আছে. Okay, the first is a negative concept and the second is a positive concept. এইটো আপোনালোকৰ এটা হৈছে knowledge enrichment কথা যদি আপোনালোকে এই দুটা statement article 14 ত add কৰি দিয়ে তেতিয়া I think you don't need if article 14 direct introduction but direct question যদি আহে তেতিয়া তো এই দুটা add কৰিলে introduction আৰু একো নালাগে but যদি ধৰক আমি add up content কৰিম মানে তাৰ মানে যদি indirectly আমি article 14 যদি add up কৰো তেতিয়া আপোনালোকে just এইখিনি লিখিলে হৈ যাব. Okay, so হেতুৱে কৈছো মই that with the help with the যেতিয়া আপোনালোকে বেসিকে আনসার এডিট কৰি থাকিব এইবিলা বস্তু ইনকর্পোরেট কৰিবলে এইবিলা বস্তু অ্যাটেম্প্ট কৰিবলে you will get an opportunity. Okay, without answer writing কিন্তু এখিনি just reading will not help. All right, then এইকিটা হৈছে concept. Now this portion is demand based. Okay, this portion is demand based only and only if you are being asked about article 14 then you go about explaining both the terms. Okay, equality before law, equal protection of laws, but still you make a note of it because description apnaloke ekhini add koribo pare gotekhini as article 14 je ekhini point as it is not rakhile hol je article 14 boli koar loge loge apnalokor image eta brain out hoy jabo lage firstly that the state will not deny any person equality before the law and equal protection of laws. Okay, on this is given to all persons whether citizens or foreigners. Equality before a negative concept hoy and protection of laws is a positive concept, yes, and equality before law or equal protection of law meaning to ki hoy hey bostu kita apnalokor brain out as a chhap ahi jabo lage in exam just screen out okay moi ekhini part likho ekhini part likhim and write down your answer. Okay, you don't read the entire ei gutei khini apnaloke from as it is Lakshmikant ko pohibo gole it will I don't think it will have much space. It will not give you much space in your brain. ইমান লাষ্টলৈকে আপোনালোকে বেছি accommodate কৰিব নোৱাৰিব. Okay, shorten the content so that you have maximum space for maximum content. Now, equality before law মানে কি হৈছে? It is the absence of any privileges. Equal subjection of all persons to the ordinary law. No person, whether rich or poor or high or low, is above the law. এতিয়া চাওক, এই তিনিটা বস্তুত আপোনালোকে সামাৰাইজ কৰিব লাগে নিয়ম মতে. মই এক্সামত এই তিনিটা পোৰ্শন লিখিবলৈ মোৰ সময় নাথাকে. If they are not asking me about Article 14 only. If they are asking me about right to equality, then definitely মই এইখিনি ভৰাই দিম. কিন্তু যদি মই shorten কৰিবলৈ যাওঁ, then I'll just mention it is the absence of any privileges, okay, in favor of any person. That is equality before law. And second বস্তুটো লিখিম, all persons will be subjected to the ordinary law of land. That's it. Okay, এইবিলাক administered by ordinary law of courts. These are just extra statements. In exam, cut it short. Okay, বা ধৰি লওক আপোনালোকে নোটতো এইটো cut short কৰিব পাৰে. Alright, no person is above the law. Directly এই বস্তুটো whether rich or poor, I'll just eliminate. Okay, so see, all the, I think there are around 40 to 50 words here. 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 10 10 10 10 ke tinta line saida, at least yeah 40 50 words thakibo. Aru here 40 50 words ma 10 ta ba 15 ta word le ani. That equality before law, it connotes, or it means, connotes mane mean kora hoy, it is absence of special privileges, number 1. Number 2, there is equal subjection of persons. But directly যদি person try to do directly equal subjection to the ordinary law of land, no person is above the law. That's it. This is equality before law. You should also understand the concept that no person is above the law. That is why our special privilege na paye. It's as simple as that. Jodi absence of presence of special privilege thakil hoy, ta mane jodi rich would have got the special privilege, tetia heti law above nothokake thakile hoy na? No, then they would have been above the law because they would have been given special privileges. So likewise, you can have a general idea as it is in the technical statement. Only the definition of the article can be kept technical. Baki sob apnaloke ji nije bujhi paye, that you can check. Equal protection of laws. What does it mean? Equality of treatment under equal circumstances, both in privileges conferred and liabilities imposed by the laws. Very technical statements. Similar application of the same laws to all persons, like should be treated alike. All these three statements just mean one thing, that এজন মানুহৰ suppose there's a person A, okay, there's a person A, if he has been protected by some law for some crime or something, then person B will also be treated equally. That's it. So basically যদি আমি কি ওয়ার্ডটো ধৰো, তেতিয়া মিনিংটো কি হৈছে, equality of treatment under equal circumstances, both in privileges conferred and liabilities imposed by the laws. ইয়াতে আমাৰ কি ওয়ার্ডটো হৈছে equality of treatment under equal substances, equality of treatment by the laws under equal substances. You can shorten the statement like that. Okay. But the best statement here is this one: like should be treated alike without any discrimination. That is what equal protection of laws actually means. Sorry. Okay, so you can shorten your statements. Shortening your statements is a very important, I would say, amar challenge eta hoy, because exam on amar brain ot iman information thake, ketaba ki hobo apnaloke likhi jaote dekhibo introduction e adha page khai dile. So সেই বস্তুটো কনসাইজ কৰাটো পঢ়ি থাকোঁতে আপোনালোকে সেই বস্তুটো আনিবলৈ চেষ্টা কৰিব, নট ডিউৰিং আনসাৰ ৰাইটিং, that মই এইখিনি পঢ়িলোঁ আৰু এইখিনি এতিয়া সাপোজ আপোনালোকে ইকুৱালিটি বিফোৰ ল, all of this content you will read it here, and what will happen is during answer writing you will try to frame the shorter sentences, but you will not be able to do it until unless আপোনালোকে পঢ়ি যোৱা টাইমতে যে ওকে এইখিনি মই বুজি পালোঁ, ইয়াৰ জিষ্টটো কি হয় আপোনালোকে ছাইডত লিখি গ'ল, এইখিনি মই বুজি পালোঁ, দেন ইয়াৰ জিষ্টটো ছেপাৰেটলি কি হয়, হয়তো আপোনালোকে সেম কম্পনেণ্টছ বা সেম ফৰ্মেটটোৱে ৰাখিব, সেম পইণ্টছখিনি ৰাখিব, কিন্তু জাষ্ট shorten it in your notes itself. Don't wait for shortening it in the answer writing. Okay, not during the answer writing. I hope I'm clear here. All right. Next is additional content. Rule of law will got a concept asile. This we had already done in prelims, so you can go back and check there in the fundamental rights. Amar rapid revision course into asile. Hetu apnaloke fundamental rights so overview eta lobo pare, and I will not go into in-depth details about this. This was a concept. Etu ketu amar prelims are directly question nahe. খুব বেছি আহিলে এপ্লিকেশন আহিব. So I'll show you. You should again এই কনসেপ্টৰ এই তিনটা পইণ্ট আপোনালোকে মনত ৰাখিলে হ'ল যে rule of law মানে হৈছে there is absence of arbitrary power. It's very simple. No man can be punished except for a breach of law. তাৰ মানে until unless a particular crime or a particular event is not mentioned in the law. For example, I usually likha ase law je sur koratu but thief is if you steal something, then that will be a that will be not considered by the law, that will be considered as a breach of law. It is written in the law, okay, except for those things, except for those statements which are not mentioned in the law, you cannot be punished. For example, if you're sitting on a bench, okay, if you're sitting on a bench and not a person cannot come and tell you যে এটো illegally আপনি বহি আছে ইয়াৰ কাৰণে আপোনালোকে এতিয়া ফাইন দিব লাগিব, সেইটো কৰিব নোৱাৰে। বাট যদি লিখি থোৱা আছে that this particular bench if সেই বেঞ্চখন ভাঙিলে সেই মানুহজনে ফাইন পে কৰিব লাগিব আৰু সেই বস্তু যদি লত লিখা থাকে then he'll definitely have to pay. This is called absence of arbitrary power. Why? Because to ensure freedom, okay, to ensure freedom. যদি আমাৰ এনেকুৱা নহল হয় তেতিয়া কি হল হয়, যিকোনো গভৰ্নিং মানে ধৰি লওক পাৱাৰ যদি থাকিল হয় তাকে, if the governing body is there, arbitrary মানে হৈছে যাতা মানে জাহাই তাহাই মানে in any way or any form they could have abused it, they could have abused it in a way যে নিজৰ মৰ্জিত okay এটো wrong হয় যদি হেতু লত লিখা নাথাকিল হয় আৰু যদি ল ফলো কৰি পেলাই নকৰিলে হয়, okay, if the rule of the law would not have been there, তেতিয়া কি হল হয় নিজৰ ৰুল থাকিল হয়, আৰ্বিট্ৰেৰী বা ইণ্ডিভিজুৱেল ল থাকিল হয়, ইণ্ডিভিজুৱেল ৰুল থাকিল হয় যে মোৰ মৰ্জি, যেনেকৈ ৰজা ৰাণীৰ দিনত, okay, এজন ৰজাই কৰিলে যে নো এইটো পাৰ্কত যদি কোনোবাই বহে then that person will be imprisoned, okay, সেই বস্তুটো নিজৰ মৰ্জিত তেতিয়াহে লটো বনি থাকিল হয় and that arbitrary power যোনটো মানে abuse of power would have always been there. But rule of law মতে until unless it's not mentioned in the law, যদি law breach হোৱা নাই তেতিয়া সেই absence of his person will never be punished due to the absence of arbitrary power. Okay, I hope you're getting it. That because law likha mote jehetu punishment to hoise, it means that a person cannot, or the power or the head of the government or anybody, they cannot formulate laws on their own আৰু যি মৰ্জি তাকে লৈ পেলাই পানিশমেন্ট দি থাকিব নোৱাৰে। অলৰাইট, দেন ইকুৱালিটি বিফৰ দ্য ল, এইটো আমি জাষ্ট না পঢ়িছিলো হিয়াৰ, অ'কে, ইকুৱালিটি বিফৰ দ্য ল, এই কনচেপ্টটো বেচিকেলি ৰুল অফ লৰ পৰা আহিছে। এণ্ড অলছ' য়েছ, ইউ কেন অলছ' এড আপ দিছ ষ্টেটমেণ্ট যদি আপোনালোকৰ অনলি আৰ্টিকল 14ৰ ওপৰত আহে যে ইকুৱালিটি বিফৰ ল এণ্ড ইকুৱেল প্ৰটেকশ্যন অফ ল, আউট অফ দিছ ইকুৱালিটি বিফৰ ল ইটছ এ ব্ৰিটিছ কনচেপ্ট যোনটো আমাৰ ৰুল অফ লৰ পৰা লোৱা হৈছিলে। আই থিংক ইয়াতে মই লিখিছিলোঁ সেই কনচেপ্টটো, দিছ ওৱান, ইট ইজ অফ ব্ৰিটিছ অৰিজিন এণ্ড দিছ ইজ অফ আমেৰিকান অৰিজিন। অ'কে, চ' you can definitely take into consideration. All right, next এইখিনি হৈছে আপোনালোকৰ in general, again all of these you can go and read, but আমি এটো mostly মেইনছৰ কাৰণে single question যেহেতু নাহে, so I'm going to skip this. We are going to only take care of or only look for those content য'ৰ পৰা আমি 10-15 marks question পোৱা expect কৰিব পাৰোঁ। Okay, so for that fundamental rights খিনি হয়। আমাৰ যোনটো ফৰ্মেট আছিলে তাৰ মতে আছে ডেছক্ৰিপশ্যন। অ'কে, নাও উই হেভ ডান দি ডেছক্ৰিপশ্যন। নেক্সট ইজ এক্সেপশ্যন। চ' আৰ্টিকল নম্বৰ 14ৰ কিছুমান এক্সেপশ্যন আছে, আ ভেৰি লং লিষ্ট ইজ দেৰ, যোনটো মই হিয়াৰ আই হেভ চামাৰাইজড। অ'কে, দেৰ ইজ ওৱান এক্সেপশ্যন অন আৰ্টিকলছ 361, 361A, 105 and 194, 31C, foreign ambassadors and diplomatic immunity. Please make sure. See, what people will do is they'll just memorize this statement and they'll give, like they'll keep these aside. 361 hook article number, they'll keep it aside. Problem etu hoy, when you keep this aside, the problem is your content will look very layman. সবে এইখিনি বস্তু লিখিবই, সবে এইখিনি বস্তু এক্সেপশ্যন নিচিনা পঢ়িবই, কাৰণ আৰ্টিকলছ মনত নাথাকিবল, they'll keep it aside. Okay, but you have to go that extra mile. Please remember the articles. বহুত বেছি নাই, trust me, if you revise then on an average sage 30 মানো article আপোনালোকে মনত ৰাখিব লগা নহয়, and we have like around 400 articles, but we don't have to memorize all of them. We just have to memorize hardly 1/10 of them. So অলপ কষ্ট কৰি পেলাই আপোনালোকে প্লিজ আৰ্টিকলছখিনি মনত ৰাখিব, so that you can go an extra mile. আৰু ইমান টান নহয়, you can use some techniques also. Anyway, for here I'll explain that how you are going to remember the exceptions here. So প্ৰথম কথাটো হৈছে exceptions on আপোনালোকে 361ত 361A বা এইখিনিত কি কৈছে সেইটো মনত ৰাখিব ইন আ ভেৰি জেনেৰেল ষ্টেটমেণ্ট। ইমানখিনি আপোনাৰ কেতিয়াও 14 মাৰ্কছৰ কাৰণে লিখিবলৈ নাহে। অ'কে, ইট উইল নেভাৰ কাম, বাট ইউ আৰ গোইং টু এপ্লাই দিছ। দেট ইজ ৱাই এপ্লিকেশ্যনৰ কাৰণে আপোনালোকে এই বস্তুটো মনত ৰাখিব লাগে। এপ্লিকেশ্যন কোড কেনেকৈ হ'ব, উইল চি আ বিট লেটাৰ। So article number 361 says that the president of India and the governor of states, see, president plus governor, okay, both of them hold the same power in terms of one is heading the Indian country as India as a state, and one is heading the like federal states junkhini amar ase, definitely federal states is not a correct term, just a colloquial term হিচাপে কৈছো the individual states যোনখিনি আছে আমাৰ সেইখিনি হেড কৰে right so both of them enjoy immunities এটা আপোনালোকে ইমানখিনি ডেসক্ৰিপচনত মনত ৰাখিলে হ'ব okay just understand the gist যদি একো মনত নাথাকে you can just place this much immunity is enjoyed by president of India and governor of states this is an exception why because like I said equality মানে হৈছে absence of privileges right equality before law is absence of privileges but য'ত immunity দি দিয়া হ'ল মানে এটা privilege দিয়া হ'ল and here privilege to you have to mention as an exception okay so what is the exception or what is the immunity the immunity is that the governor of the president it's very beautifully designed see যদি এনেকুৱা হৈ গ'ল হয় যে president and governor ওপৰতে যদি আমাৰ কেতিয়াবা if they would have been liable to answer in case of their duties for example কিবা এটা যদি কৰিলে and লগালগ যদি কোর্টে নোটিস অর্ডার এটা পঠাই দিয়ে যে আপনি এটা কিয় কৰিলে you have to justify second যদি in case যদি ক্রিমিনাল proceedings যদি initiate কৰি দিয়ে against the governor okay for example arrest হৈ যায় আমাৰ president এজন for example civil proceedings arrest initiate কৰি দিয়ে civil criminal any ধৰণৰ proceedings মানে কি তেখেতৰ against FIR এটা suppose case দৰ্জ কৰি দিলে আৰু তাৰ পিছত এটা case আপোনাৰ ফাইল হৈ গ'ল so এনে ধৰণৰ what will happen this is going to devastate or I would say আমাৰ ইণ্ডিয়ান কান্ট্ৰিৰ president বা governor এজনৰ লগত যদি তেনেকুৱা এটা I would say statement বা proceeding at the start ho jay it will be a blot on our democracy je country head jone jodi criminal proceeding eta initiate koribo logia hoi go then directly for example so that will be a big blot on our democracy that will be a very big blot on our international image so n number of things come up so he karne president or governor out of respect out of our image as a democracy it has been given that privilege যে যাতে তেখেতৰ বা প্ৰেসিডেন্ট মানুহজনৰ নহয় প্ৰেসিডেন্ট হে পজিশন হে rank tour আৰু হে the first citizen of India যোনটো এটা status আছে হে status যাতে কেটো হ্যাম্পার নহয় so when a person till the time he or she is a president তেখেতৰ against কেটো criminal proceedings বা civil proceeding কেটো initiate কৰা নহয় but the moment that particular like তেনেকুৱা ধৰণৰ যদি কিবা ইভেন্ট এটা আহিও যায় there is also clause for it এনেকুৱা নহয় যে তেতিয়া এনেকুৱা হৈ যাব ক্ৰিমিনাল প্ৰসিডিং যদি ইনষ্টিটিউট কৰিবই নোৱাৰে তেতিয়া কি প্ৰেসিডেন্ট এজনে মাৰ্ডাৰ কৰিলেও কি এই বস্তুটো ফলো আপ নহব নেকি নো তেনেকুৱা নহয় it just says that the individual against the president the proceedings will not be done not against the individual which means যেতিয়ালৈকে হে individual জন president হৈ আছে তেতিয়ালৈকে তেখেতৰ against there will be no Karwai. Okay, he has to be either removed or impeached from the position of president. After that, as an individual, take it against the proceedings. Okay, so I hope this is clear. That is why just to have a, I would say, save our individual country's image and democracy, amar jate blot eta nopore. Hetu karne, but otherwise you can imagine that the president is a criminal. How would we feel? Okay, he democracy to apna blemish ho jabo, undermine ho jabo. So in order to save that, some immunities are given by the Article 361. This is very important. Okay, president or governor, he or she is not answerable to any court for the exercise. Ji kono kaam korise tekhetor karone they are not arbitrary nohoy. Again, there are both checks and balances. I said don't worry. Kyo nohoy because president e ji nokora kyo he or she has to take the advice of the Council of Ministers and the Prime Minister. Okay, this is in Article 75. So the constitution is beautifully designed. So any arbitrary power is not provided. And he or she can do anything. So whatever he or she has done, he is not answerable because already jikhini kore hekhini government permission loi pela not permission exactly recommendation loi pela hekhini kaam agbowa hoy. Okay, so this is there. No criminal proceedings should be instituted. Okay. And no process for this you can check shall be issued from any court during his term of office egita keywords hoy okay then until the expiry general statements are iman besi apnaloke in depth obviously sabologe eku nai all you have to see is that you remember the article and the যোনখিনি keywords আছে for example proceedings হৈ গ'ল কি ধৰণৰ proceedings civil criminal proceedings then কি আছে they are not answerable to the court like that you can mention that all right also no person shall be liable to any criminal or civil proceedings in court in respect of publication in a newspaper of a substantially true report of any. This is a very interesting article. This actually 361A. 361A to a special privilege আছে যে যদি হাউস অফ পাৰ্লিয়ামেণ্টৰ বা হাউস অফ লেজিসলেচাৰ মানে আমাৰ ৰাজ্যসভা বিধানসভা বা ধৰি লওক লোকসভাত কেনেবা ধৰণৰ যদি কিবা এটা ৰিপৰ্ট পাব্লিছ হৈছে আৰু সেই ৰিপৰ্টটো যদি কোনোবা এজন পাৰ্চনে কোনোবা এজন মানুহে যদি আউটসাইড দি হাউস যদি পাব্লিছ কৰিছে বাট there has to be substance in that যে সেই ৰিপৰ্টটো সঁচা হয় তেতিয়া এনে ধৰণৰ যদি ৰিপৰ্ট কোনোবা যদি পাব্লিছ কৰে তেতিয়া that person will not be liable to criminal proceedings. Now this is for a general Indian or any Indian or any citizen who is publishing any report which is of the proceedings মানে যোনখিনি কাৰবাই আমাৰ হাউসত চলি আছে হাউস মানে আমাৰ বিধানসভা হ'ব পাৰে পাৰ্লিয়ামেণ্টৰ লোকসভা ৰাজ্যসভা হ'ব পাৰে তাতে যদি কিবা ধৰণৰ যদি প্ৰসিডিং চলিছে তেন্তে পাব্লিছ কৰিলে he or she will not be undertaken for criminal proceedings. Okay, civil or criminal দুইটাই but ইমান আমি ইণ্ডিয়াত নালাগে যে civil কি হ'ব পাৰে criminal কি হ'ব পাৰে nothing like that. All you have to remember is at least the article number. Okay, this is for the president and governor, this is for individuals who might publish a true report of the proceedings. Keep it simple, keep it short. Okay, 105 and 194 very very important. Similarly jeneke citizens of dia hol jeneke governor and president of dia hol teneke MP and MLA. Okay, MP and MLA very important. No member of parliament, see these two are the same statements. No member of parliament and no member of legislature. Okay, both of them they are not liable to what proceedings in any court jodi any MLA or any honorable MPs of our Lok Sabha, Rajya Sabha, if they give any vote, if they participate in the Lok Sabha sessions, anything they say or they vote about, hekhini ketio criminal ba tene dhornor court proceedings ole liable nohoy. Okay, then hekhini against what ketio kono dhornor karbai kora na jay. So that freedom is given. Again, this is a privilege, so this is an exception. Okay, at least you should remember these two are very important articles. But yeah, eta monot rakhibo that that does not mean whatever they say will be protected. Jodi if they give some derogatory remark, that will again be decided by the speaker of the Lok Sabha. Hey, checks and balances kini hoda thakibo. So please remember, mark my words, arbitrary power yat nohoy de. These are just privileges. Enekwa nohoy je president hoy gol tete criminal proceedings koribo noile even if he does a murder, he or she does a murder, then or any criminal act, then he or she will not be acquitted. Tenekwa nohoy. Okay, বা ধৰি লওক prosecuted, sorry. তো সেই বস্তুটো নহয় কিন্তু checks and balances are there, but just that in simple like terms you should just know that there are few stages য'ত আমাৰ কি থাকে special privileges থাকে. Okay, then we have the article number 31C, very very important, যোনটো আমি পঢ়িছিলো. In article number 31A, 31B, 31C আমাৰ কিছুমান what you call this saving of laws আছে হেখিনি আমি কৰিম হেখিনি we will definitely check. All right, this particular article specially defies the I would say article 14 ৰ কাৰণে special এটা আমাৰ provision হয়. Why? Because article 31C এ কয় যদি DPSP ত আমি কিবা এটা implement কৰিব লগিয়া, remember, okay, it is related to DPSP মানে directive principles of state policy. এনেকুৱা ধৰণৰ কিবা law, okay, এনেকুৱা ধৰণৰ কিবা law যদি ষ্টেটে বনাইছে য'ত DPSP ইমপ্লিমেণ্ট হৈছে মানে ডিৰেক্টিভ প্ৰিন্সিপলছ অফ ষ্টেট পলিচি ফলো কৰি পেলাই যদি কিবা এটা law বনোৱা গৈছে তেতিয়া সেই পাৰ্টিকুলাৰ লটো আৰ্টিকল 14ক ভাইলেট কৰিছে বুলি কৈ পেলাই নালিফাই কৰিব নোৱাৰে. Okay, please remember, please listen to this very carefully, that if a particular law is made with respect to DPSPs, মানে DPSP ফলো কৰি পেলাই যদি এনে ধৰণৰ কিবা ল এটা বনোৱা গৈছে, okay, আৰু সেই লটো যদি আৰ্টিকল 14 ভাইলেট কৰিছেও তেতিয়া সেই লটো নাল এণ্ড ভইড বুলি ক'ব নোৱাৰে. তেতিয়া সেই লটো আৰ্টিকল 14 ভাইলেট কৰিছে বুলি ক'ব নোৱাৰে. এটা কোন কেইটা DPSP কথা কৈ আছে? Only articles or the clauses contained in 39B and C. This will be a homework for you guys. You can go and check 39B and C are potato articles that you can add up for everything that comes in socio-economic courses. Okay, here আপোনালোকৰ দুটা আৰ্টিকেল আছে. সেই দুটা আৰ্টিকেলৰ কাৰণে যেতিয়া ল এটা বনোৱা হয় তেতিয়া সেই এক্সেপশ্যন এটা থাকে যে আৰ্টিকল 14 এ ভাইলেট কৰা বুলি সেই পাৰ্টিকুলাৰ আৰ্টিকেল লটো আমি নালিফাই কৰিব নোৱাৰো. Okay, so there's a very beautiful saying, whenever article 31C comes in, article 14 goes out. All right. So a particular statement you can use also. It's a very beautiful statement. Then we have foreign ambassadors. Obviously, যদি rulers থাকে, diplomats থাকে, তেতিয়া সেইখিনি আমি criminal বা civil proceedings কৰিব নোৱাৰো. Why? Because they are citizens of another country. So যি কাৰবাই হ'ব, it will be done in their own country. এইখিনিত আমি বহুত technicalities আছে, ইমান দৰকাৰ নাই. যদি আপোনালোকৰ এই পইণ্টটো অলপ মনত নাথাকে, well, not a big issue. এই পাঁচটা at least আপোনালোকৰ মনত থাকিলে more than enough. Then we have UNO agencies, সেইখিনি আমাৰ diplomatic immunity থাকে. So you can just say there is diplomatic immunity. Okay, সেইটো বস্তু আপোনালোকে in general যদি word to use কৰি দিয়ে, more than enough. But এই বাকিখিনি at least you should remember the article and the content. You can shorten the content, like I said, Article 361 বুলি কৈ দিলে immunity is enjoyed by President and Governor of States in terms of civil proceedings or criminal proceedings. Okay, they are not answerable to their on for exercising their powers and duties. তেনেকৈ ধৰণে simple statements বিলাক form কৰিব পাৰে. Then Article 361A, that civil or criminal proceedings will not be like put up against persons who publish reports of or any proceedings from of the House of Parliament or the Legislature of States. Okay. Then Article 105, 194, ekata line koribo pare. No member of Parliament or no member of Legislature will be liable to proceedings for anything said or voted in the particular house or legislature. Like that you can manage. Okay, sir. So all of this was exceptions. Now the final thing that comes is the application. এই বস্তুটো হৈছে which you need rigorous practice. You need rigorous practice মানে যে আপনি এটা পয়েন্ট দেখিলে inclusive growth. Okay, how will you incorporate Article 14 there? Okay, if you see social important, you should incorporate Article 14, women empowerment, gender equality. Can I koribo etia? For example, there is a question, write something on gender equality. Okay, and you have given the entire substance and everything. In the conclusion, you can directly add up as specified in the Constitution, Article 14, which talks about equality before law and equal subjection or equal protection of law. It is not advisable. And again, constitution, sorry, conclusional frame quote, you can like always frame the statement like that in vision of that particular article, the government should do this, etc., or the individual should do this, etc., etc. Then again, statement to banabo pare. For example, in introduction itself, if there is a like statement your free legal aid kotha ahi gol but your transgenders opor kotha ahi gol, then you can directly specify article number 15, article number 14. They clearly specify in the constitution, or it is the Indian constitution guides the Indian state to formulate laws but to protect the all sections of the society, and transgenders are a part of it. See, these are very raw statements. One just example to koisu a statement like a topic like code apnar GS1 ot ase, but you are going to apply information from GS2. Now this is called linkage. This is called linkage, and this is called multidimensionality. Okay, this is what your answers as a civil services aspirant and your answers as a graduate like student, that this is where it will differ. At the graduate student of jodi ami transgender question ta did you, then he or she will just write definition for transgender challenges, and then that's it. You know, ami tate stats from economics, articles from politics. So make sure that you can link up these articles. Link up Article 14. Aji ami 14 leke korisu. Homoito jehetu olopman goise. Tomorrow we'll also do Article 15 and till the others as the time permits. But ami will go a bit fast. Like I said, ebar jodi apnaloke etu idea pai goise. I will not cover all the articles, but I think you are getting an idea. Je eneko grip pai pole apni rest of the articles also cover kori dibo. Okay. I mean, rest of the content also cover koribo, so that we can move on to a new topic. I mean, today next parliament, my president, teneka thona kisman topic uthao pai. Okay, as much as possible, I mean, April or Peter jate GS2 majority topics la cover kori diu. Since, like I said, this is not exactly a crash course, but our idea is je ami eneka thona kisman important topic jodi ami uthai pela apnalokor logot discussion to kori lo paim, tete apnaloke eta way forward ba ahead you will get an idea je eneke dhorone apnaloke baki khini topic ot relate koribo paribo. And plus, if on demand some topics come up, then definitely we'll discuss. Okay, so I hope you're getting an idea today, and I hope GS2 karne the application part, like I said, is the most important portion. Jot apnaloke definitely inclusive growth of. Now this is a non exhaustive list. Moi to one acha police high component ase eneka dhoroner jikono topic ahibo pare. Okay, jikono topic ahibo pare, tate apnalokor logot at least a brainstorming to hore thakibo lage je য'ত GS1 হয়তো টপিকটো হ'ব পাৰে বাট তাত GS2ৰ কণ্টেণ্ট আৰু মষ্টলি মই কৈছোঁ আপোনালোকৰ দ্য বিগেষ্ট কণ্টেণ্ট উইল কাম ফ্ৰম DPSP এণ্ড ফাণ্ডামেণ্টেল ৰাইটছ অনলি ইনফেক্ট অলপ ফাৰ্ষ্ট ষ্টেজতকৈ আপোনালোকে প্ৰিএম্বলছ ভৰাব পাৰিব বাট ইন জেনেৰেল ইফ আই চি দেন মষ্টলি আপোনালোকে মেক্সিমাম from society point of view, from internal security point of view, from international relations also, then from GS1 to our society mo kolue and our kikes lamar ethics point of view, GS3 namar junto economic part. This is inclusive growth to our GS3 part hoy. এই গোটেইখিনি part হয় ইনফেক্ট ফ্ৰম এগ্ৰিকালচাৰ এই গোটেইখিনিত আপোনালোকে মেক্সিমাম ইনকৰ্পৰেশ্যন হ'ব ফ্ৰম DPSP এণ্ড ফ্ৰম ফাণ্ডামেণ্টেল ৰাইটছ চ' দেট ইজ ৱাই দ্য ডিছক্ৰিপশ্যন অফ এভৰি আৰ্টিকল আপোনালোকৰ বাই হাৰ্ট হ'ব লাগে and not all the articles from 12 to 36 35 and from 36 to 51 DPSP 36 to 51 hoy it's not necessary je apnaloke every article mukhast maro kintu every article at least apnaloke monot rakhibo lage je ki correspond kore aru keita man article jeneke article 14 15 hoy gol 16 hoy gol 17 18 to apnaloke monot narakhilo hobo hetu ketiao nahe so hetu bostu ami korim kale continue korim so and then we'll move on to DPSP. So, এইটা বস্তু আপোনালোকে at least মনত ৰাখিব যে কেইটামান আৰ্টিকল ইট শুড বি লাইক ইন ইউৰ ৰিটেন সাইড বাই সাইড বাই ইউৰ সিলেবাস তো সেইটো আপোনালোকে সদায় মনত ৰাখিব সাপোজ সিলেবাছত ইনক্লুসিভ গ্ৰোথ লিখা আছে প্যাৰেলেলি আপোনালোকে প্ৰিন্ট আউট উলিয়াওঁতে তাত লিখি থৈ দিব আৰ্টিকল 14 আৰ্টিকল 16 17 যোনকেইটা আৰ্টিকল আপোনালোকৰ বেসিক্যালি ইনক্লুসিভ গ্ৰোথৰ কাৰণে প্ৰমোট কৰে সো সেই ব্ৰেইনষ্টৰ্মিংটো আপোনালোকে কৰি পেলাই আনসাৰ্স লিখক গেট ইট ইভ্যালুৱেটেড গিভ ইট টু ইয়োৰ পিয়াৰ্স এণ্ড চেক দ্যাট if your implementation to correct হৈছে নহয় but তাতে আপোনালোকে জবৰদস্তি যাতে সেইটো এড নহয় like I have always said it should always fulfill the demand of the question. Okay, so that's all from my side today and tomorrow we'll continue with fundamental rights. Then we'll move ahead to DPSP.